Hello everyone. Today we're going to look at Chapter 12, Introduction to Photorealistic Rendering. We're going to create an environment. We're going to attach materials to our object. We're going to create and place some lights around, and then we're going to render it. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to open up our pulley from Chapter 9. Okay, and what we want to do is we want to go to the top view. Okay, I'm going to make sure that I am on layer object. Oops. Layer object. Okay, and I'll turn my perspective off. We may end up turning that back on later. Okay, I'm going to back up a little bit and I'm going to draw a rectangle. Okay, I'm going to have my pulley about in the center of it, so maybe a rectangle around that big. Okay, so now that we have a rectangle, we're going to create it into a region. I'm going to type in region, and I'm going to pick on this guy here. Okay, once I get that, I am going to go to my southeast isometric view. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my model a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to click on my model until I get my gizmo there that has the three arrows. I'm going to pick the blue one. Okay, and that allows me to bring it up and down a little bit. Okay, I'm going to take a look at the right side. Okay, and then just spin it a little bit. Okay, and I probably want to make it down just a little bit closer. I just want to make sure I don't go through it. So there's through it. Okay, so right about there. Okay, then we will go back to southeast isometric view. Okay, one of the things that we can look on or look at, if we go up to visualize, okay, and you will see up here render to size. We're just going to take the default. This will render it rather quickly. Okay, and there you'll see our object has been rendered. I think I can zoom up a little bit on it there. Okay, so we can see what it's going to look like. You'll see that we have a shadow here, and this is our floor that we drew the rectangle. Okay, and of course this is our pulley. Okay, we can close up our rendering window. We don't need that for a little while. Okay, in a minute we're going to be looking at the available lighting that we have. Okay, if you go up to lighting and location, you'll see that we have a general. Okay, whether our lighting is on or off, we have our sky, we have horizon. Okay, we can have settings for our sun. Okay, we have a whole lot of settings that we can set. You can see that we have the sky, which is off right now. We will be turning it on later. Okay, so we'll have a bunch of different lights that we can have. Okay, if you click on the little arrow that says lights, we have default lighting. Okay, and default lighting turns on just our default light, and that is just there's actually no lights in the scene. Okay, and it's actually shaded with default lighting. Okay, and that uses two distant light sources. Okay, so that all the faces of the model are illuminated so they can be seen. Okay, we have a whole bunch of different lightings that we can use. Okay, and we have different types of lights that we can use in here. We're going to look here. Okay, we'll have a point light, a spotlight, a distant light, and a web light. Okay, right now we're going to put some materials on our two objects. Okay, so up here again under visualize, you'll see materials browser. Okay, and you'll see the Autodesk library, and then you will see about 4 billion different types of materials. Okay, I'm going to take the first one right here. It's nice and close to the top. It's 1-inch square ivory. Okay, and it is ceramic. And then you'll see right here there's an arrow. Okay, hit the up arrow. That puts it in our library. Once I have it in my library, I can just take and click and hold with the left button, take it here, and then drop it on top of our rectangle that we drew. I'm going to turn off our grid here, and you can see that it has 1-inch square ivory on it. Okay, we're also going to take and we're going to give our pulley a material. Okay, and we're going to use beechwood amaretto. Nope, we're going to use beechwood galliano. Okay, I always get my beechwoods confused. Again, we click here, we stick it there, and then you will see the beechwood galliano. I'll take and I'll just drop it onto our pulley right there. Okay, so we've given them, and you can see that we have some materials now that we can work with. I'm done, or we are done with our materials for now, and I'm just going to stick here and I'm going to close our materials browser window. Okay, we're now going to set some background lighting, so we're going to type in background. Okay, background. Okay, we hit enter. Okay, and you'll see here that we have background. If I hit the little down arrow, I have solid, gradient, image, and there I have sun and sky. So we're going to set it so the sun and the sky is out. Okay, here is a preview. We have the sun. We have a whole bunch of information that we can have. Okay, we can change the intensity of the sun. We can put a haze. Okay, we can have a time and a date of when we're going to have that. We can set a city location if we want. Okay, so all that will be available once we put on our sun and sky. When I pick OK, okay, you should see up here that the sky background is now on. Okay, there is the sky is on, there's the background, and there's background and illumination. Okay, so we have our sun set here, okay, and our sky, and we're going to render again, and we should see when we render, okay, we have a little bit different view of this. Okay, again, we just have a regular midday. It's set for 3 o'clock sun. Okay, so I'm going to take and I'm going to close this. Okay, and I'm going to go down to here. Okay, and I'm going to change the time. Okay, right now the time is for 3 o'clock. Excuse me. It's for 3 o'clock, and I'm going to set that time to, let's put it for 9 o'clock in the morning. Okay, so I got 9 o'clock in the morning. I can even set whether it's daylight saving time, whatever I want to set. Okay, now I'm going to render it again. Okay, and you'll see that the shadow has changed. The shadow was in the front of this, now it is in the back. Okay, I can go again if I want, and again go back into our sun and location, and I'm going to change this time to, let's make it to 7:30 at night, and you'll see that the sky gets dark. And now when I'm going to render it, okay, we have a pretty dark background there. Okay, we can close our render window. Let's put our sun back on. Let's make it like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Okay, just so we can have some light showing there. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to put up some walls around this, one in the back, one on the side, and one on the back. Okay, so we can have reflections going off that. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy this floor that we made. So I'm going to go into copy, I'm going to hit enter, I'm going to pick this endpoint right here. Okay, and I'm going to pick that endpoint again and hit enter. Okay, so now I have two copies there. I'm going to go to 3D rotate. I'm going to pick on the floor, hit enter. I'm going to change my base point to this endpoint. Okay, and I'm going to make that 90 degrees. Oops, forgot to pick where I want to rotate. I'm going to rotate around. Looks like the green one here. And now let's try 90 degrees. Okay, so we have the floor going up here. We're going to copy again, and I'm going to grab this one. Again, I'm going to copy it to the same spot. Okay, second point right there. Hit enter. I'm going to rotate this guy up. I'll rotate from here, and I believe I'm going to do the red axis, and I'm going to make that minus 90. Okay, so we have our little box in there. Okay, so we can see that we're going to have some things. If we go up there now, okay, and go to visualize and render to size again, okay, you'll see that we have shadows, okay, caused by the walls. So what we're going to do now is use some lighting. Okay, I'm going to close this guy. I'm going to turn the sun off. Okay, and the sun should be off now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a light. Okay, the first light I'm going to put on, okay, is a point light. Okay, and a point light is just that. It points to just a point on our drawing. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go up to lights. We're going to pick point. Okay, recommends that we turn off the default lighting, so we will. Okay, now we're going to do is we're going to go back to the top view. Okay, and I'm going to put my light like right about here. You can see where that's at, right around there. Okay, and then exit. Okay, you can see the light coming in here. I'm going to go to the southeast isometric view. Okay, and there you can see that I have my light. I'm going to render this real quick. Okay, and you can see that that light is pretty intense there. Okay, so I might want to move it away a little bit, so I can click on it here. Maybe move it back this way a bit. Okay, and you can see it gets darker. Maybe even a little bit more. Let's render that. Okay, and you can see that our object is lit in the front, and there is the shadow in the back, so our point light is pointing right to here. Okay, we'll close up our render window again. We're going to now change our material of our walls, our floor, and our object. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the materials browser, and you're going to find, okay, the first one will be coarse textured orange. Okay, and the second one is going to be flaked reflective beige, to the F's, flaked reflective beige, and I'll add those. Okay, might want to open this up a little bit so I can see better up top here what I have. Okay, so I'm going to take the light orange and I'm going to put that on our walls and our floor. Okay, and I'm going to take the flaked reflective and put that on our object. Okay, I'm now going to render it again. And we can zoom up a little bit, and there you can see that our materials are a little different. Okay, now you notice that the rendering was very quick, and what we're going to do, and small. Okay, so we're going to render it to a different size, and we're going to take a different rendering preset, and you'll see that we have low, medium, high. We have coffee break, which takes around 10 minutes or so. We have lunch quality that takes about an hour. Okay, and then we have overnight that renders it for 12 hours. Obviously, the longer you render it, the more passes it does and the better it's going to look. Okay. Secondly, you'll see here render to size. Right now we've got it for Super VGA. Okay, we can do it for high definition TV. We can do it for Super XVGA, full high definition. Okay, now each one of these will take considerably longer. So I'm going to take, let's see, let's do HD TV. Okay, and I'm going to zoom up a little bit on this guy. Hopefully that'll help. Okay, and instead of medium, I'm going to go to high. It'll take about 10-15 minutes. Okay, I'm going to pick render to size. Okay, it will start rendering. This is going to take a little bit of time, so I'm going to pause our video here and come back when you're done. So I finished my rendering. It took about maybe between 4 and 5 minutes. Okay, and I went up and I saved them. We can save them under a bunch of different formats. I saved the one on the left here as a JPEG, and I saved the one on the right as a PNG. Okay, if you look at them, there's not a great big difference in the quality of the rendering, but the JPEG is much smaller than the PNG. The JPEG is about 124K. Okay, the PNG is around 500. Okay, so there's quite a big difference. So that's something to keep in mind when you're doing our rendering. Okay, let's go back into AutoCAD. Okay, here was my rendering. It took 3 minutes and 25 seconds. Okay, again, if I go up here to save, okay, here are my types. I can make it a bitmap, which is pretty big, a TGA, a TIFF, okay, and then the JPEG and the PNG. Okay, so I'm going to close that up. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to create a distant light. So I'm going to go up here to distant. Okay, and it says distant lights, disable distant lights when lighting is photometric recommended. We're going to allow distant lights. Okay, we're going to make sure that our polar tracking is on. And I'm going to take and I'm going to take this point and I'm going to line it up with this point, hopefully. And there where they meet, I'm going to put it right there. Okay, so now it says distant light direction 2, and I am just going to hit end. Okay, and I'm going to pick exit. Okay, so now I have my distance light here. Okay, if I go, I'm going to put this on render at medium so to go faster. I'm going to render to size again. Okay, and you'll see a little bit different because we have that distant light there. If I take now and I'm going to delete this light that was over there, okay, say create light, allow distance light. Okay, I'm going to take this endpoint, drag it up, put it right about there. Now where I'm going to point to now is right in the center there. Okay, so I'm going to hit the S center and I'm going to hit N. Now you see that it lit it up. Okay, and just about lit up everything. So I'm going to render the size again. I'm going to do medium. Okay, and see the difference between doing those lights. Okay, so you'll want to play around with those until you get it looking how you want. Alright, that is it for this lesson.